G-Men playing host to the Lions, a squad coming off their first road win under Dan Campbell. Giants looking to start 8-2 for the first time since 2008. The Lions looking for two straight away from Detroit, that building occupied by somebody else on this Sunday. Second quarter, this kid's game plays everywhere. Aiden Hutchinson picks off Daniel Jones. Lions take over in the red zone. That was Jones' first interception in his last 154 attempts. Snaps the longest active streak without an interception in the NFL. 4 plays later, pay dirt. Jamal Williams had himself a day. Lions up 10-6. Williams' 10th rushing touchdown of the season. Wasn't his last. Less than a minute to go in the half. First and goal from the 1. Williams takes it in again. 17-16 Lions at the break. Williams, first Lions player with 11 rushing touchdowns in a season since Barry Sanders in 1997. It's been a minute, and there's another. Williams, first Lions player with 3 rushing touchdowns in a game since 2012. Young man can ball. Ensuing Giants drive. Got an answer? Jones looking downfield, but Curry Joseph picks it off, and he's heading the other way, bringing it all the way back to the Giants' 41, a 38-yard return on the back end of Jones' second interception in this game. And how about some acrobatics? Lions take over. Then in the fourth, Giants down 24-12. Can't give it up again. They would. Jones completes it to Isaiah Hodgins. He puts it on the ground, and Hutchinson making another play and scooping that one up. Giants had 3 turnovers in their last 5 games, had 3 on this Sunday alone. 31-18 is your final as the Giants drop their 3rd game of the season, outperforming all expectation, but this is maybe not what you expected on this Sunday. A decided win here by the Detroit Lions over the Giants on the Giants' turf. Daniel Jones gives it away twice as the G-Men and the Lions, both on short weeks, look to pick themselves up. The Lions get the Bills on Thanksgiving at home. The Giants will make moves to the Cowboys on Thanksgiving evening. All right, let's dig in with Rick Spielman and Tyler Sullivan. Guys, the Giants this season, the record maybe did not match the output and what we expected of them. I think a lot of people were waiting for a loss like this to say, aha, told you so. But how do you react, Tyler, to this loss by the Giants? You're never really competitive in this game.
Yeah, big picture, I don't know if it necessarily means anything in terms for their playoff positioning. They're still, I think, going to make it. I still think that they're going to be in the postseason when it's all said and done. But if you're talking about thriving in the postseason, well, yeah, I think we've had those concerns all season. It kind of feels like they've been out-coaching what their talent is on the roster, and that's credit to Brian Daboll. But the thing that really struck out to me in this game was the turnovers, and you highlighted them, specifically with Daniel Jones. He has been so good up until this point about not turning the ball over. He was top 4 in the NFL in turnover rate in the NFL coming into this game, and he throws 2 interceptions, and that proves to be the difference, obviously. 14 points scored following Giants turnovers in this game. You're not going to win many football games. And, you know, credit to the Detroit Lions, because they have been pretty frisky over the last few weeks here. Obviously, on the defensive side of the ball, they had 3 interceptions off of Aaron Rodgers. They had a pick 6 against Justin Fields last week, and now they pick off Daniel Jones twice. Credit to them, but also for Daniel Jones and the Giants, you can't turn the ball over. When your margin of error is that thin in terms of your talent level, you can't be giving the ball to the opposition.
Yeah, I'll just follow up. That apple tastes pretty sour in New York right now with both the way the Giants and the Jets played today. But I do got to give credit to the Detroit Lions, and they've won 3 in a row now, 2 wins on the road back-to-back. The reason is because of their defense and how their defense is playing. I think they held Saquon Barkley to 22 yards rushing today. If the Giants can't run the ball, that doesn't set up play action, and that's what's cost the Giants the game today, plus the turnovers. And then you see what Detroit's doing on the defensive side of the ball. New York has only given up, I believe, more than 23 points once this season, and that was against the Seattle Seahawks. Detroit's offense, that's not the issue. They've been scoring high points, and they got another 30 points today. If you have Jamal Williams on your fantasy team, he may be the best red zone running back in the NFL right now. He has an excellent nose for the end zone when he gets a chance and an opportunity near the goal line to score. But when you look at that defense and you look at how some of their rookies are playing, when you see Joseph come up with another interception, he had 2 against Aaron Rodgers, and Hutchinson is getting better every week. I mean, to come up with that pick, that's his 2nd pick of the season. To be over there to recover that fumble, he's making plays for him left and right. So Last year, the Detroit Lions went on a little bit of a run. They were struggling, then they went 3-3 their last 6 games of the year last year. I'm not saying they're a playoff team yet, but don't be surprised if they knock off some of these Giants, no pun intended, that they're going to be playing down the stretch here.
No doubt about it. Whether it be a sour apple or one with a worm in it, this is not what the Big Apple was looking for on this Sunday. And sometimes you get more than you expected, and that could be the case here with Jamal Williams, who has his first 3 rushing touchdown game. Could have been 4, as DeAndre Swift did get in from close range as well. But you got to get everybody involved. Barry Sanders had 6 such games. Williams, on Thursday, will look to get 3 more and be the only one with 2. In this one, but edging out the Cleveland Browns 31-23. Josh Allen didn't look himself at times, especially there in the first half, but finishes off with a W and advances to 7-3 on the season. But it was that Buffalo run attack that really plagued this Browns rush defense that's been really the mar of that team all season long. Devin Singletary, 18 totes for 86 yards and a rush touchdown. You also got plenty out of Moss as well. Stephon Diggs, just 5 receiving yards in the first half, did do some damage in the second half, also had a receiving touchdown. All right, we now welcome in James Lofton, who took this one in from the booth. James, it's a pleasure always having you here on HQ, and I want to pick apart some of what you saw from up close and personal.
Sure.
Specifically Josh Allen, and maybe that performance in the first 30 minutes looked better in the second half. But this is a team sort of figuring itself out here in the midst of the season. Looked dominant to start, and then Allen really couldn't get on the mark. Did you see him favoring the elbow at all? What's the issue right now with this passing offense in Buffalo?
Well, you know what? I grew up reading Superman comic books, and in those comic books, Superman would be exposed to kryptonite, but he had no idea where the kryptonite was coming from, so he'd feel a little weak, and then all of a sudden, he'd find out where it was, they'd cover it up with some lead or whatever, and then he'd be his normal self. And I think the same thing for Josh Allen, because he came into this game realizing that he had thrown 6 interceptions over the last 3 ball games, that he led the NFL in interceptions. And so he covered up that kryptonite, and he became Superman in the second half again.
Out of the phone booth and back into action. It's always a pleasure to watch Josh Allen do what he does. We'll get to the Browns side here in a moment, but just to double back on a Buffalo team that really does have the highest of aspirations at this point, and really coming into the season. They were our Super Bowl favorites. They do look human at times, especially those back-to-back losses in the first half of this one.
Sure.
But is it almost beneficial for a team of this talent to experience these moments at this part of the season and maybe not in a couple weeks from now?
Well, we're seeing it all around the league. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They're riding that crest. Were they going to be the next undefeated team? How long could they stay undefeated? And I think for the Buffalo Bills, they had 3 losses. 3 losses by a total of 8 points. Just 8 points in total. So those losses were very disappointing for them, and I think that they look at it from a different vision. And Von Miller comes into that locker room, having won the Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos, being MVP in that contest, having won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams, giving them the type of advice that says everybody goes through adversity. It's how we come out the other side. And so I think that leadership, Von Miller picking the Bills to go to as a team that he thought could be a Super Bowl contender, but now giving them the advice that a Super Bowl contender can give, that a Super Bowl winner can give to that team.
Yeah, we most definitely saw that impact in L.A. a year ago. We'll see if that is the case once again as Von Miller looks for his 3rd Super Bowl with a 3rd different team. It would be something special. James, before we let you go here, a thought on Cleveland, because the headline of that conversation is going to be far different 2 weeks from now with a new quarterback coming back into the fold. How do you sort of keep this group together? Because there was no quit in them here on this given Sunday, but a lot of change is coming.
Well, I watched Jacoby Brissett play today, and I remember when he was a collegiate player at the University of Florida. He had to transfer because he wasn't going to get to play. He had to sit out. And then everywhere that he's been kind of a bridge quarterback. And I asked him about that. He said, you know what? It's okay to be a bridge quarterback because I feel like I'm standing on top of the bridge right now. I know I wasn't the first guy to play this position. I won't be the last, but I'm going to enjoy the view from up top on top of this bridge. And I think that he emanates that same feeling to the rest of his teammates. So I love his attitude, and you saw the fight that he had to come back and throw those touchdown passes late in the fourth quarter in this ball game.
There always seems to be a roster spot somewhere across the league for Jacoby Brissett, and there is always a spot for our James Lofton here on HQ. Thank you, James.
Thank you so much.